levels like a true gaming fiend. She's got the skill, she's got the moves. She's the queen of the virtual scene. Gaming chick, oh wow. She's a gaming chick, ruling the gaming world with every click. Oh wow, she's the one to beat. She'll never back down or take defeat. Gaming chick.
Hello once again, all my chickadees. Game & Chick is back once again with another review. Before we get started, I want to give a big thank you to the folks over at Nintendo for providing me a review copy to make this review possible. Thank you so much. So now with that said, let's get on to it. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is a high-definition version of the 3DS titled Dark Moon, and it is developed by Next Level Games and published by Nintendo. With Switch being in the twilight years of its lifespan and the console's successor on the way shortly, Nintendo decided that it needs to bolster the Switch's library for its final swan song. But was remastering Luigi's Mansion 2 the proper move? Or should another game have been chosen? Only one way to find out, so let's get scared! Story. The magical dark moon that hangs over Evershade Valley seems to calm the ghosts that live there. But when it suddenly breaks apart, the once friendly ghosts become unruly. Luigi must stumble into action and find his courage to restore the dark moon to its rightful place in the sky.
Mario?
Gameplay. It's been 11 whole years since the original version of Luigi's Mansion 2, subtitled Dark Moon, arrived on our handheld devices in 2013. And since that time, we've also received a brand new entry for this franchise as well, with Luigi's Mansion 3 also on the Nintendo Switch. Needless to say, if you're a fan of Scaredy Cat Luigi with his solo ghost hunting adventure since the days of the GameCube, then it's safe to say that everyone is eating as good as Kirby right now. Only we're not as cute and squishy as the little guy, but at least it gives us something to strive for. I'm going to be upfront though, I never finished Dark Moon on the 3DS. By the Nine Divine, surely you can't be serious! Yes, I know it's blasphemy, and I am serious when I say that, but please, don't call me Shirley.
Hope you rot, criminal scum.
The 3DS was a weird time for me as a gamer. It was at the time when I was leaning heavier into console strictly gaming over my handheld days growing up, and since I don't travel a lot, I'd have a tough time sitting down in the comfort of my own home, staring down at my tiny 3DS and giving myself permanent neck damage like I was long neck from the land before time. But I did play through the first half of the game, and even a fair share of Scare Scraper as well with people, so I wasn't completely shut out of it entirely. Mostly my thoughts when playing it were like, okay, this game is pretty good. It's not as good as the original game on GameCube, but for a handheld it's enjoyable. However, it wasn't until I played and beaten Luigi's Mansion 3 that I felt like Part 3 deserved the moniker of a Luigi's Mansion 2 sequel over the sequel we actually got with Dark Moon. Wait, I know what you're thinking. How dare thee compare a game thy haven't beaten to one ye hast? Hast thou no honor? What say thee? Thine words as spells shall find no shelter or comfort here, nor on the morrow. Thou is nothing more than a crooked-nosed knave. First off, holy crap, that was rude. And secondly, why am I being insulted in medieval talk? If you'd let me finish, then I was going to say I came to that conclusion after fully completing the game now on Nintendo Switch, and that this doesn't mean that I'm saying that it makes the title a bad game, quite the opposite. It's a very enjoyable experience, but there are quite a few hiccups along the way that weren't streamlined enough from the 3DS version of the game, which I will get into now. When Dark Moon released, it felt like a game that should have been on a home console. Lots of big ideas were used, different mechanics, online multiplayer aspect. It felt like a big deal. However, it was also limited by the 3DS itself, when a console starving for any game at all, like the Wii U, should have been the place where it should have been playable to begin with, but now that problem is rectified now that it is on Nintendo Switch, for better or for worse. With recent titles being remastered like Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Link's Awakening, Metroid Prime, Super Mario RPG Remake, and now here with Dark Moon, the quality itself hasn't been an issue, but it's the content provided that raises the eyebrows of some people. Why? Well, the big controversy now in gaming is price points. Should games be $40 for a remaster and is $60 too high for them? Honestly, it all depends. Some games are fully rebuilt from the ground up, like Link's Awakening, Super Mario RPG, and others getting a really good graphical overhaul like Metroid Prime Remastered, and then other stuff like Paper Mario getting a new paint job with new quality of life features. How do you determine what should be $40 and what warrants $60? If you find out, McFly, then let me know.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think, McFly, think.
But if you're standing on business on hating the $60 price point, yet buy another game remaster you make an exception for at $60 while hating on another game for doing it, then tell me why are you like this?
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but complaining.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but some whining.
Tell me why.
I never wanna hear you say I'll buy it at 60 anyways.
Yeah, Backstreet Boys reference. Bet you didn't expect that one, huh? So my own griping about gripers aside, where does Luigi's Mansion 2 fall in the category compared to the other remasters on the market from Nintendo? Honestly, pretty much like Paper Mario, with quality of life fixes, tweaks to gameplay, and a fresh coat of paint. So I guess I can't gripe too much, right? Swiper, no griping!
Oh man!
But what do you do in this game? Granted, not everyone has played the 3DS version, so no one should expect to be up to date. So I'll quickly fill you in and give you the general idea just what the little bro of Mario is doing in his next solo adventure. Here in Luigi's Mansion 2, our favorite wuss and silly boy Luigi must collect all of the shattered pieces and fragments of the Dark Moon that was destroyed and scattered all across the valley by the evil King Boo in order to make all neighboring ghosts in the area turn evil, with the sole purpose being to take over the world. Sorry, I can't do the Boo laugh very well. I tried. Using the power of your trusty Poltergust 5000, a versatile gadget given to you by a mad and borderline crazy Professor Egad, as you travel from mansion to mansion using the vacuum to suck up ghosts to store in a vault, solve environment-themed puzzles to unveil mysteries, using your dark light and find stuff the ghosts are trying to hide, find hidden secret minigames, which I'm terrible at, and find jewels to rack up money to purchase upgrades for the Poltergust, etc., etc. All this is done as you navigate these haunted halls alongside your handheld communication device called the Dual Screen, which is basically a Nintendo DS or 3DS style of communicator that keeps you in contact with the professor at all times to get helpful hints, like showing you objectives on the map or the dangers that lurk deeper inside the depths of the houses. Although he does tend to get just a tad bit annoying because the bro really does love to talk. I mean, it's like walking through the grass in a Pokemon game and being paranoid that you're going to get into a random battle. Same energy and vibe here. And taking 4 steps, and you just know you're going to hear the ding doo 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 jingle for all eternity. But at least it's not Sonic Adventure bad, with the train lady never leaving you alone, with telling you the train heading for the Mystic Ruins is departing soon. No, go away! Sorry, back on topic. The great thing about Luigi's Mansion 2, and is also a negative too, is that this game allows you to navigate and solve really clever environmental puzzles, like using the gust of your vacuum to turn the handles to raise levers, pull on web cocoons to get them in range of fire, then proceed to use the gust to spin a fan around and make it hit fire, and then proceed to hit nearby spider webs to burn it all down in one smooth puzzle. And it's pretty awesome. But how is that both a good and a bad thing exactly? Simple. It doesn't hold your hand, and you're basically left to figure stuff out for yourself for the most part, which is great. However, on the flip side, there are no checkpoints or save spots, so even if you spend 30 minutes or 40 minutes going through a level and then you die, well, time to bust out of the wall and rage like Kool-Aid Man, because once you die, you start the level all the way over again, unless you find a dog bone. It's very annoying, but we'll come back to that in the dislike section, trust me. It makes me want to hit them with that Sabaku Q. Naruto fans will know what I'm talking about. In stark contrast to the previous titles like the original Luigi's Mansion on GameCube, here in Luigi's Mansion 2, you're structured in a very semi-linear way for all of your ghost-busting needs. Instead of more open-ended settings, you are now pixelated and drop through 5 very different and distinct mansions, with all of them ending with a boss fight that makes you use every ounce of intelligence that you have in order to slay them, due to every single one using a different mechanic, like lighting pieces of them on fire, fight on top of a clock by dodging its arms and moving at the right time, throwing booze into oncoming trains so that you can use your dark light to reveal their bodies so that you can pull on their tongue and capture them, etc., etc. You get it. The boss fights are pretty dang awesome, even with the levels themselves adhering to a more linear style. For comparison, think of Super Mario Galaxy to Super Mario Galaxy 2 and you get the idea. Every level you play, which through the first 3 mansions having 5 levels and then a boss fight, are extremely short if you know what you're doing. If you've played the game before on 3DS and have beaten it, then you can run through each level in probably like 10 to 15 minutes tops. However, if you're brand spanking new and just starting, then you're looking at levels taking you anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes to beat, depending on if you die and get a game over, or if you choose to be a very sneaky person and peep the cracks in the wall of the haunted mansion to see what is going on in there on the other side. Caution though, what you may see could be very disturbing. Don't let level linearity get you down though. The silly and funny Mario-style slapstick humor that you know and love from this lovable goof Luigi is still front and center, with Luigi constantly whining that he just wants to go home, and at this point would probably be scared of his own fart if he heard it. Oh yeah, he's that much of a wuss. But he's our wuss, so he gets a pass. Despite its linearity though, the game and its atmosphere aim to shine through the darkness of that negative, with each mansion offering a distinct biome of environment, with areas taking you through traditional mansions, clockwork towers in the desert that have you finding gear pieces to get the clock working, snow-filled cabins in the woods where you can enact revenge on Frosty the Snowman for making you cry after watching the movie Jack Frost, etc., etc. You dang snowman, you were supposed to uplift my feelings, not destroy them! Bad Frosty! Even though I said the game is overall linear, which is true, exploration, however, is possible even if that exploration is limited in the overall structure to the levels. However, thinking outside the box and veering off path can be extremely beneficial to you as a player, as you find hidden treasures by blowing away rugs or pulling curtains off of walls, looking in the mirror to see reflections of a gem, find a jewel stuck in ice, and use wooden logs to break the ice to grab it, find hidden booze that are tucked away in secret hiding spots to send them to your vault in Gad's lab, using a flashlight to destroy plants or other objects to make them throw out dollar bills or coins to gain the currency needed to upgrade your poltergust vacuum, etc., etc. It's definitely worthwhile to ignore the objective sometimes and try to discover all the hidden rooms and secrets that you can. But what's the point of upgrading the poltergust? It's just a stupid vacuum, right? Scaredy Cat Luigi isn't a Mary Poppins after all. I mean, you could call him a maid too, but I wouldn't. Upgrading the poltergust is key because a lot of these ghosts become such a chore to deal with. By flashing your light at them to stun them and then suctioning them and using left stick to pull them in like a fishing reel, you can capture them with ease, at least early on. But then soon you will encounter blue jerk ghosts who hide in appliances and throw stuff at you, green ghosts that have on armor or swords that make you time your dodges before stunning, big red brute ghosts who have over 200 HP to drain from them as you pull and press A as the gust meter fills, gigantic fat glob yellow ghosts that spit toxins at you that have a gigantic amount of health, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm thinking you need all of the upgrades or you are going to fail very fast. So exploration and money gathering is absolutely key. This is also the case with sucking up throwable objects as well and aiming them and using the blow feature to shoot or toss an item at an objective. Simple. But me? Nope. I used it mostly to throw around Toad everywhere. Can you fly, Toad? Can you fly? Annoying little guy. If the potential 15 to 20 hour Dark Moon quest isn't enough to keep you occupied after beating the main game, well, lucky for you that they kept multiplayer mode called Scarescraper. In this mode, it lets you play both local and online as you team up with others to clear out ghosts from rooms, racing to exits before your friends, finding good doggies named Polterpups, and cooperating with each other instead of trying to get overly competitive to win like I tend to. If I can survive in a game, sorry, y'all are getting left or you're coming with me. I know, I'm a jerk, I'm sorry, but don't worry. Here in Scarescraper, I'm your friend to the very end. Heidi ho! The variety in the online mode makes it an extremely fun choice to pick up and play with all of your friends. So if you have a ton of friends, unlike me who's a loner, then gather them around for a pizza and soda night because you're in for an extremely silly time.
Mario?
Dislikes. Oh no, it's the dreaded and spooky dislikes time. I always hate doing these for games I cover, but not everything is sunshine and rainbows, and there's good and bad to everything in video games, including this one. While my dislikes might not be complete game breakers, I did tend to run into some things that ticked me off quite a bit at times. My first gripe has to do with the motion controls that come into play when you make Luigi cross narrow gaps to keep his balance, and to me it feels borderline broken on the Pro Controller for the Switch. By making Luigi walk across the gaps and walkways, you have to tilt your controller left and right like you're Swerve Strickland's manager Prince Nana in AEW doing his little entrance dance. It gets increasingly more annoying when you try to do it moving back and forth, but then get told you must press the right stick to jump to the next platform right next to you while you're doing that, which majority of the time you'll fall, which drains your health. I got so annoyed that I was like, forget this, I'm disabling it in the menu, and then proceeded to use the left stick only to move around, and did it with ease the first try. Second gripe is the lack of quality of life fixes in this title that was present in other games like Paper Mario. Leaving in the starting the level over mechanic is also pretty annoying, as I touched on earlier. You can spend 40 minutes getting through a level and then dying near the end, and then you have to redo that entire level all over again. All objectives, all ghost captures, all treasures lost, etc. It's as gut-wrenching as you getting the "you died" screen in a Souls game. The only way to get around it is by finding a dog bone hidden in each mansion that gives you one revive. It definitely ticked me off a few times, even though I only died like 3 times. But still, this should have been improved upon at least a little bit. Wait till you're near the latter half of the game and you'll end up having to take on like 30 ghosts at a time on 1 health meter and spending like 30 minutes fighting them, dodging, pulling, with no way to gain health, and then to just die right at the end and have to refight them all over again? Yep, that's exactly what you're in for, and that's exactly what happened to me. But luckily for me, I had the bone at the time, otherwise I would have had to redo the same section over once more. It's your fault, Toad!
Mario?
Overall, at the end of the day, Luigi's Mansion 2 ends up being a quality remaster and a port of Dark Moon from the 3DS, with a brand new coat of paint and improved control work for your Poltergust. Obviously, it's far from perfect, with some questionable motion control features for walking along narrow bars or for aiming, a game over system that feels like it punishes you rather than encourages you to keep playing by making you start over again after a death, which is an old school style, load times in sections of the main game, and even Scare Scraper being a tad bit slow at times, which shouldn't be the case since this is on a stronger hardware, etc, etc. Even with those annoying elements, the core gameplay is still extremely fun, with all the varieties of ways to use your Poltergust to find secrets, catch new ghosts, find secret entrances in minigames to collect red coins, use dark light to unveil secrets that prankster ghosts try to keep from you, make your brain work and override as you find creative ways to solve each level's puzzles, fantastic boss fights that feel fresh and unique compared to regular ghosts, plethora of things to do after beating the game such as fun multiplayer and going back to levels to earn more medals, and collectibles to fill up your vault that houses all your ghost friends that you caught and shows you all of the jewels that you managed to discover as well. There's just a ton to do, and it's genuinely an enjoyable experience. The only real question is, do I think it's worth $60? Honestly, I would say yes, only for the simple fact that it's not just an up-res game. It's not just a simple upscaling of a 3DS game, and instead takes a Super Mario RPG approach or Metroid Prime and gives it a bit of an overhaul to polish to make it look way better than a simple upscale in resolution. For that reason alone, I say the $60 is warranted, but I certainly don't blame people either if they say they'll wait for a price drop. That is quite understandable. But for people who may have beaten Part 1 and Part 3 and want to finish this trilogy, I say give it a go. Lots of fun ghost bustin' awaits ya. So with all that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game & Chick says buy now.
Huh? Oh. Oh.